I shouldn't be recording this, but if you're hearing this now, it's because I couldn't get out of here. My name doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that you understand one thing. No guard survives more than 3 nights at São Lázaro Cemetery, and I'm on the 3rd. Leave a like now, please. If this recording disappears, at least let someone know this happened. I accepted this job because I was desperate. 3 months behind on rent, power cut off. My daughter asking why there was no food in the fridge. When I saw the ad online, I didn't hesitate. Night watchman, municipal cemetery, payment in advance, 3 shifts guaranteed. The payment was too high, suspiciously high. But I signed. The only strange thing was the look of the man who hired me. He didn't blink once during the entire conversation. He just pushed a rusted key across the table and said, "Don't leave the guardhouse after midnight, no matter what you hear." I laughed, thought it was some kind of stupid psychological test. I should have paid attention to his eyes. There was no fear there, there was pity. The first night started like any night shift. I arrived at 11 at night. The cemetery was bigger than I imagined. High walls, twisted iron gates, ancient trees that seemed to lean over the graves as if they were whispering secrets. The guardhouse was small, a table, a chair, a fluorescent lamp that buzzed endlessly, and a window that overlooked the entire cemetery. I sat down, opened my coffee, put on headphones. Midnight arrived in silence, and then everything changed. The first thing I noticed was the sound. It wasn't wind, it wasn't an animal. It was a dragging, like something heavy was being dragged through the dirt between the graves. Slow, deliberate. I took off my headphones. The sound stopped. I put them back on. The sound resumed. I looked out the window. Nothing. Just long shadows cast by the full moon. Headstones lined up like crooked teeth. I laughed at myself. It's just the wind. I thought, but there was no wind. At 2 in the morning, I saw the first figure. It was far away, almost at the back of the cemetery, standing between 2 trees. The silhouette was tall, too thin. Its arms hung like broken branches. It didn't move. It just watched. I grabbed the flashlight and pointed it there. The light cut through the darkness, and the figure was no longer there. My heart started beating faster. I forced myself to take a deep breath. "Just a shadow," I said out loud, as if... Hearing my own voice could calm me down. Then I heard footsteps, not outside the guardhouse, inside, behind me. I spun the chair so fast I almost fell. The guardhouse was empty, but the door I was sure I had locked was ajar. Just a few inches, enough to see the darkness outside breathing inward. I stood up, closed the door, locked it again, 3 times. I sat back down, and then I saw my own hand. There was dirt under my nails, fresh dirt, grave dirt. I hadn't left the guardhouse. At 4 in the morning, I should have run, but I couldn't. I can't explain it. It was as if my feet were stuck to the floor, as if the cemetery was holding me there. I grabbed my phone to call my daughter, just to hear her voice, just to remember that there was a world out there that still made sense. No signal, no bars, nothing. I looked out the window again. There were more figures now, 5, maybe 6, all standing among the graves, all looking at the guardhouse, all motionless like statues. And then at the same time, they all tilted their heads to the left, slowly, as if they were trying to understand something, trying to understand me. I closed my eyes, counted to 10, opened them again. They were closer, much closer. Dawn arrived like a lie. Sunlight cut through the trees, and the figures disappeared like smoke. The graves became just stone and earth again. The cemetery became just a place where people buried their dead. I was drenched in sweat. My hands trembled so much I could barely unlock the door. I ran out, didn't look back, got in my car and drove home without stopping, lay in bed and slept for 14 hours straight. When I woke up, there was a message on my phone. Thank you for the first shift. Payment has been deposited. See you tomorrow night. I looked at my bank account. The money was there, more than I would earn in 2 months working anywhere else. I thought about my daughter, the bills, the food I could buy, and I decided to go back. The second night was worse, because this time I knew what was waiting. I arrived earlier, before nightfall. I walked through the cemetery with daylight still burning. I wanted to see if there was something wrong, something that would explain what I had seen. The graves were old. Some were over 100 years old. Weathered names, erased dates, dead flowers in broken vases. And then I saw something that made me stop. A new grave, very new. The earth was still fresh, no headstone, no name, just a mound of dark earth. Piled over something. I approached. There were marks in the earth, finger marks, from the inside out, as if someone had tried to dig their way out. My stomach turned. I stepped back. And that's when I heard it. You came. The voice was low, hoarse, as if it came from under the earth. I ran back to the guardhouse, locked the door, waited for midnight to arrive. This time, the sounds started earlier. 11:45. A scratching at the door. Soft, persistent, like nails on wood. I didn't look. I didn't move. I just sat there staring at the table while the sound continued. Scratching, scratching, scratching. And then a voice. Why did you come back? My blood froze. I turned slowly to the window. There was a face pressed against the glass. Pale, sunken eyes, mouth open in a silent scream. I blinked. The face disappeared. But on the glass, the mark remained. A handprint, small, a child's. And inside the print, there was blood. I should have run at that moment. Should have run out and never looked back. But something held me there. It wasn't courage, it was something worse, curiosity. I needed to know, needed to understand why no guard survived more than 3 nights. So I stayed, sitting there in the guardhouse while the cemetery awakened around me. The figures returned, more of them this time. 10, 20, maybe more. All in a circle around the guardhouse, all standing, all watching. And then they started to move, not toward me, in a circle, slowly, like a dance, like a ritual. And as they moved, they sang. It wasn't words, it wasn't a language, it was just a sound. Low, rhythmic, like a heart beating beneath the earth. I covered my ears. The sound continued. It didn't come from outside, it came from inside my head. At 3 in the morning, I saw my reflection in the window. And it wasn't alone. There was someone behind me, a woman. Long hair covering her face. White dress stained with dirt. She didn't move. She just stood there, standing, breathing. I could hear her breathing, slow, heavy. I closed my eyes. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. When I opened them, she was closer. Her face now beside mine in the reflection. And then she smiled. Her teeth were black, and there was something dripping from her mouth, something that looked like dirt. Dawn arrived like a forgiveness I didn't deserve. The figures disappeared. The woman vanished. The cemetery became silent again. But I knew the truth now. I wasn't watching the cemetery. The cemetery was watching me. I ran out again, got in the car, drove home, looked at my daughter sleeping and cried. Because I knew I was going back. Not for money, not out of necessity, but because something in me had changed. Something in me wanted to know what happened on the 3rd night. And now I'm here. 3rd night, 12:15. The figures are already around me. More than before. So many I can't count. And this time they're not standing still. They're approaching. Slowly. One of them is at the door. Now knocking, Not forcefully, just touching, as if asking permission to enter. And the worst part, I want to let them. I want to open the door, because now I understand. No guard survives more than 3 nights, because on the 3rd night, you're no longer a guard. You're one of them. I looked at my hands now. There's dirt under every nail. Fresh dirt. Grave dirt. But I didn't leave the guardhouse. Or did I? I can't remember anymore. There's something scratching at the door now. Something from... the inside. I'm recording this because I need someone to know. I need someone to understand. If you're hearing this, don't take the job, no matter how much they pay, no matter how much you need it. Because San Lazaro Cemetery doesn't need guards, it needs souls. And mine already belongs to it. The door is opening now. I'm not opening it. It's opening by itself. And on the other side, is everything I've always feared. Everything I always knew was waiting. I'm turning off the... a recording now. If you made it this far, subscribe, please. Because there will be more recordings, other confessions, other guards, other nights, and maybe one of them will find the exit I never found. Until next time. If there is a next time. If I'm still me.